So we have to be clear. When we talk about the works of faith, we're not talking about disobeying God. We are actually talking about obeying God. It is when Abraham obeyed God, not only by saying with his mouth that I obey God, but by actually doing something physical like offering his son in obedience to God, and doing it in faith because it was so testing to do. When Abraham did that, he received the seal of righteousness. God said, not only has this man obeyed me, he obeyed me in faith. He obeyed me, obeying my instruction, and my instruction was so testing, and yet he went all the way, and he was called righteous. The righteousness that Abraham received came from obeying God. So that's why later on in the book of Romans, Paul accuses the Jews and he says to them, they went out and established their own righteousness. So the works of faith are not a tool to establish our righteousness. Oh my goodness. He actually says, rather, the law establishes faith, meaning when we do the works of faith, we must stay within the confines of Scripture, which is obey God at all times. The works of faith can never lead us to disobey God. The works of faith must never lead us to sacrifice, yet God does not receive the sacrifice. Just as he says in Isaiah, he says, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They ask in Malachi, wherein have we disobeyed you? Wherein have we dishonored you? And he says, in tithes and offerings. Isaiah 58, he tells them, you are oppressive to those you have hired in your house. You do not pay the wages of those you have hired. And he mentions a list of things in Isaiah 58 going into 59. And he says, is this the fast that I want from you, that you may be wicked, you may boast against each other? Again, we see that the scripture confines us to what should be considered works of faith. If the works of faith trample on God's holiness, if the works of faith causes us to dishonor God's righteousness and holiness, they are no longer deemed the works of faith. The works of faith must stay within the confines of Scripture. We cannot do anything that breaks the Scripture and say, I'm doing it by faith. We are not allowed by God to disobey him in the name of faith. We are not allowed by God to do sacrifices in the name of faith. We are not allowed by God equally not to walk in the works of faith, saying we don't want to disobey God, because even that faith is vain, according to James chapter 2. You cannot say, I don't have the works of faith because I don't want to do sacrifices where God will not receive them. I don't have the works of faith because